Krishna. Nice to be with all of you today, and it's a great pleasure. Thank you, Ramchandra Prabhu, for inviting me to talk on the Chardham, the 4 very important holy places in India. So, there are actually 2 Chardhams. One Chardham is called as the Bada Chardham, or the 4 Chardhams, which were established by Shankaracharya. So, in the north, it is Badrinath. In the south, it is Rameshwaram. In the east, it is Jagannath Puri. And in the west, it is Dwarka. So, Shankaracharya spread his philosophy all throughout different parts of India. So, he established these 4 Bada Chardhams in the 4 different corners of India. So, saying that he has spread his philosophy all over India. And then there are what is called as Chota Chardham, or also called as the Himalayan Chardham, where there are very important holy places called as Gangotri, then Yamunotri first, then Gangotri, Kedarnath, and Badrinath. So these are the 4 holy places, and these are the places from where the different rivers, very important rivers, come from. From Yamunotri comes the Yamuna river. From Gangotri comes the Bhagirathi river, and then it joins with Alaknanda coming from Badrinath and forms the Ganga. And there is Mandakini river coming from Kedarnath, which joins the Alaknanda, and that place is called as the Rudraprayag. So all the rivers join together, different rivers coming from different parts, they join together, Alaknanda, and then they form Ganga. Yamuna is separate. So Yamuna meets Ganga at the Prayagraj. So this is the 2 different rivers that are important. And also you can see Saraswati river in Badrinath, which goes underground there and comes out at Prayagraj. So Prayagraj becomes the most important place. That is why it is called as Prayag. Prayag means when there is confluence of 2 or more rivers, it is called as Prayag. And because at Prayagraj, which we used to call as Allahabad before, so Prayagraj is the Raj or the main master or the king of all Prayag, and that is why it is called as Prayagraj. So our yatra, actually, when you come for the Chardham Yatra, our yatra begins in Delhi actually. Everybody arrives in Delhi, and then they travel to a place called as Haridwar. Haridwar, as the name suggests, it is Haridwar. That means gateway to Lord Hari. So this is the place from where you will proceed to all these Chardhams, where you are going to get the darshan of Lord Hari. And also because Ganga flows here, and Ganga is coming into the plains, so it is also known as Ganga Dwar. Also in the Puranas, there is a Maya Devi temple, and Haridwar is called as Mayapuri in the Puranas. So this is how the Chardham Yatra begins at our Haridwar. So generally we come and stay in Haridwar for 1 night, and then we go to a place called Brahmakund, or it is also called as the Har Ki Paudi. Har Ki Paudi means where there is lotus feet of Lord Hari or Lord Vishnu. So where the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu are located, it is called as Brahmakund. So that is where everybody comes for bathing there. So the holy dip at this place is very important because it is said that whatever sins we have accumulated in our life, when we take bath in Mother Ganga at Haridwar, all our sins are removed. But that depends on the faith, on how much faith we have. So there is a small story in that. Once Mother Parvati was asking Lord Shiva, how come there are so many people bathing in Ganga, but it does not look that people, how do they get purified? So Lord Shiva said, let's go there, and then Lord Shiva becomes kind of a leper and he's sitting on a small cart and Mother Parvati is pushing that cart. So people are bathing and Mother Parvati requests those who have bathed in Ganga, oh, you are purified. Why don't you please touch my husband, who has leprosy and he will be cured. So a lot of people don't touch, saying that, we are not sure whether we are purified or not. So that is how, Lord Shiva is telling Parvati, see, even though they are bathed in Ganga, they are not sure because they don't have that much faith that they are purified. And then finally one sage, who is bathed there and comes out. And when he is asked, he touches Lord Shiva, and his leprosy is gone. So it depends on our faith also. So important is that we have faith when we go into Mother Ganga, that Mother Ganga will purify us. So then we can sing at the Harki there is a Ganga Aarti which is performed every day around 6 p.m. in the evening. So people, more than 10,000 people attend this Aarti every day. All those who come to Haridwar, they attend this Aarti. So this is the first place that we visit in Haridwar. Also, if you remember that in Srimad Bhagavatam, when Vidura came to Haridwar, so this is the place also where Vidura heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Maitreya Rishi. So this is also one of the important. So lot of Srimad Bhagavatam stories are connected here. So as and when we go across, we'll talk about Srimad Bhagavatam also, because also if you remember, Bhagavatam was written by Srila Vyasadeva. Okay, so that is also placed in Badrinath. So that also we will see. So, but now we are still at Haridwar, and this is what is also called as a gateway to Hari. So next we will go to a place called as Kankhal. So this is the place where Sati was born. So this is the birthplace of Mother Sati, and this is where Daksha Prajapati had his palace. So, and this is where he performed the yajna and the pastimes which are there in Srimad Bhagavatam about the fight between the devotees of Lord Shiva and Daksha happened there, and how Daksha's head was cut off, and all those pastimes, and how Sati immolated herself by by meditating on Agni and burning herself. So this is the pastime that happened here. And when Sati did that, and Lord Shiva was, very much dejected, and he was carrying her body. And Lord Vishnu felt that, this is not proper, because if Lord Shiva does this, then what will happen? So then with his Sudarshan Chakra, Lord Vishnu cuts up Mother Sati's body into, small parts. And these all small parts fall at different places in the mountains up there, and each different parts becomes a Shakti Pitham. So like it is said that the heart of Mother Sati fell at a place called as Bilva Parvat in Haridwar, and that is where there's a Mansa Devi temple. So all the wishes of those who come there are fulfilled by Mother Manasa Devi. Then the eyes fell in a place called as Naini. So that Nayan means the eyes. So that place is now called as Nainital. So like that, there are so many different Shakti Pitams around here. So at Kankhal, also there is a big kunda also, like a Yajna Kund, where it is said that Maharaj Daksha performed the yajna there, or the fire sacrifice, and he had invited all the sages, rishis, and the demigods and everybody there. So that is a place in Kankhal, and also there is a 𝗫𝗫𝗃𝗃 Mahadev temple, where if you see the Shivlinga which is there, it's a bit of like a cut off, from the, as if the head is cut off. So you can see that in 𝗫𝗫𝗃𝗃 Mahadev. So it is just showing us that, how the head of 𝗫𝗫𝗃 was cut off. So that is why it is called as 𝗫𝗫𝗃𝗃 Mahadev. So because Daksha's head was cut off at this place, so Lord Shiva, he represents him there like that. So that is why you can see that linga. And then there are few temples around, small Ganeshji temple, Hanumanji temple, which we can visit. So these are small. And very nearby to this place is also a place called Anandamayi Ashram. So normally the Westerners, those who are connected there, they come and visit here. Next, we go to a place called as the Mansa Devi temple. So this is on a hillock called as the Bilva Parvat. So there are cable cars to go up there. So we can go up there by cable car, or we can also trek. Just a 3-kilometer trek, and there are proper roads to go up. So depending on whether we can do that or not, or it is easier by cable car, we can go up there, and whatever wishes we have, we can tell to the Mansa Devi, and she will fulfill our desires. They said like that, and then we come back. So generally, in a day's program, in the morning we go to the Kankal temple, see those things out there, and then in the afternoon we come to Mansa Devi, and in the evening we go to Ganga Aarti. So this is the full day that we spend in Haridwar. And then there are so many other small temples. There is a place called as 𝗪 Ashram, where the 7 rishis used to meditate, and Ganga used to flow there, and she used to make very much noise. So then the 𝗪 stop Ganga, stop her flow, because she is making so much of noise. And then Ganga then requests that, please allow me to go. And then the 𝗪 split her into 7 parts, so that the noise is less. So that is the 𝗪 Ashram. And then there is also a place where there is a Vyasa Ashram, where the Vyasadev is worshipped along with Shukmani, the 4 disciples of Vyasadev, who split the Vedas into 4. And then there are 𝗪 who are standing. So that's a temple called Sri Vyasa Ashram. So that also we can. And just very next to it is the Pejawar Mutt, where the Swami, Pejawar Mutt Swami, installed a very large deity, a huge deity of 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗃𝗃 and Lord Udupi Sri Krishna. So that is also very nice. It is called as 𝗦𝗽𝗃 Ashram. So that is also a nice place where we can get darshan of the, the huge deity of 𝗦𝗽𝗃𝗃 and Lord Krishna. And there is also a Chandi Devi temple in Haridwar. It is on a hillock where the Chandi Devi was established, and Shankaracharya established that temple there. So sometimes if we get time, then we do visit that Chandi Devi temple also. So after, and also the important temple, the Maya Devi temple, which generally people don't visit, but because that is the place where Maya Devi, is there, and that is how Haridwar is named as Mayapuri, because of the Maya Devi temple there. And then we have a small temple called as Shri Radha Madhav temple in that Vyas Mandir area, which is like an ISKCON temple, where the deities of Shri Radha Madhav are there. There's a small Goshala. There's a small land, maybe half an acre land, where they have these deities, very beautiful deities of Shri Radha Madhav. So this is what we do. So this is what we do in Haridwar. And then actually we proceed to, after spending the day, next day morning we leave for a place called as Barkot. So it is around 5 to 6 hours of journey. And this is a place where there are a lot of accommodations available. And Barkot is on the way to a place, the important place of Yamunotri. So even though Rishikesh falls on the way, but we don't visit Rishikesh when we go up. We try to do it on our last leg, after we complete our Char Dham. So that is when we do the Rishikesh leg. So when we reach Barcode, it is just relaxing. There is nothing much to see around. It is just that we reach there and just relax, have our dinner and relax, And next day morning, we leave for a place called as Sayanchatti, which is the base of Yamunotri. So it takes about 2 hours to reach there. And when you reach Sayanchatti, then there are different modes of transport that you can take. I mean, transport in a sense that either you can take a mule or you can take a dolly. Dolly is where 4 people, you sit on a kind of a chair where 4 people carry you up. And also there are puttus. Puttus means a small basket where the kids, younger kids or maybe like older Matajis who are comparatively lesser in weight, they can sit in a small basket and they carry the locals who are there, they carry them in that basket and take them up. So it is a steep climb of around 5 kilometers there. So those were the important, sometimes it rains also. So we have to be very careful when we are climbing up all those. Sometimes there are steps, but there are sometimes it is just, a concrete road as such. But nowadays it has been made more feasible, that people can easily walk. But then there are a lot of mules which are coming up, So while going up, coming down, you have to be really careful with those mules, So that is important. And when you start walking up, nothing much on the way as such. It is directly after 5 kilometers, you come to the Yamunotri temple. So where you can see the most crystal clear Yamuna river also. So normally what we do is we take bath in the cold waters of Yamuna, bathe in Yamuna, then we go to a pond where there is hot water pond, and that hot water is coming from a spring, which is a hot water spring called as Suryakund, and that is really very, very hot water. So after we bathe, we get ready, then we offer. So we have to take off for offering some rice and some potatoes. What we do is we carry rice in a cloth bag and some potatoes, and we dip it in that Suryakund, which is really very, very hot water. So we boil that rice and those potatoes, and then we take it as an offering to Yamuna Devi there. So this is the main offering there which is done. And there is also a thing called as a 𝗷𝗍શિલા. So 𝗷𝗍શિલા is it is a special rock where we offer our prayers. And again, this is a place where we get our wishes fulfilled. So that is how people visit these places. And then we go to the Yamuna temple. So Yamuna temple, there is Ganga Devi and Yamuna, both are there in this temple. So we visit and give our offerings, pray to Yamuna Devi. And further to this Yamunotri temple, there is a place called as Rishikesh. So this is the place from where actually Yamuna comes down. So, but it is very difficult climb. It is about just 2 kilometers climb, but it is very, very difficult. So people don't generally go there. It is only those who want to trek or something like that, they go up there. And but for ordinary people without any shoes or any, you have to carry your own tent, this, that. So it is difficult to go up there. But up to Yamunotri temple, it is very easy. Not much. It is a steep hike. It takes around 2.5, 3 hours, depending on our speed of walking. So, and then after we finish all these things, so Yamunotri, we have visited the Yamuna temple, and then we start heading back. So we come back to 𝗦𝗃𝗃, and from 𝗦𝗃𝗃, we are almost tired, coming, walking already so many, almost like 10 kilometers we have walked on a steep. While coming down, also we have to be very careful because it is steep down, so we should not slip. So normally people wear good shoes or a good trekkers, so that it is not slippery. I mean, slippers or some chappals are a no-no. Good trekking shoes is important. So, I mean, there are sadhus who will go up there on bare feet, but they are doing austerities, so they can bear to go up there, but difficult for city dwellers. So, after that we come down. So we have seen Surya Kund there, Divyashila, Yamunotri temple we have visited. So after that, again we come down to Barkot, take rest, have dinner, take some rest. Next day we go to a place called as 𝗦𝗃𝗃𝗁, and it's almost like around 4 hours to go to 𝗦𝗃𝗃𝗁. And when we reach 𝗦𝗃𝗃𝗁, it is 𝗦𝗃𝗃𝗁. There are two words, Uttar and Kashi. So Uttar is north, Kashi is the place where Lord Shiva resides. Okay. So in Varanasi, again it is called as Kashi only. But here it is 𝗦𝗃𝗃𝗁 because there is Kashi of north. So there is a Lord Shiva, big Shivlinga, where Lord Shiva resides here also. And like why it is called as Kashi? Because there are two rivers, which join Mother Ganga. So same way, in Varanasi, there are Varun and Asi river, which join Mother Ganga. And the tract of land between these three rivers is called as Kashi. And that is where Lord Shiva resides. Similarly, at Kashi also, there are two rivers which join Bhagirathi, and the tract of land is called as Kashi. And Lord Shiva here is also called as Kashi Vishwanath. So it's a beautiful temple. And if you look at that Shivlinga, it is a little bent. So it is a Swayambhu Shivlinga. It is not an installed Shivlinga. It is an Swayambhu Shivlinga. And one of the 12 Jyotirlingas. And if you find why it is bent, then we know the story of how Markandeya Rishi, when he was supposed to die at a very young age, but then he holds this Shivlinga, and then Yama cannot pull him out from there. And that is how that Shivlinga is bent. That is what is the local folklore tells about us, that why the Shivlinga is bent there. And then at 𝗦𝗃𝗃𝗁, nothing much to do. And there is one small temple of Annapurna, so that we can visit. And from there, from 𝗦𝗃𝗃𝗁, is a place where we go to Gangotri. So on the way to Gangotri, there's a small place called as Gangnani, where the Parashar Rishi's ashram is there. And there again you have a hot spring water where people can bathe in the hot water, and then proceed to Gangotri. And when you're proceeding to Gangotri, there's a beautiful village called as Harshit. It is said that it is one of the most beautiful village in all of India. So, everything is arranged nicely and, very clean place. Before the Swachh Bharat came into, So, very beautiful village. People try to, if possible, they try to stay one night in Harshit. And then on the way, we got Bhairavnath temple. It is called, and the Ghati is called as Bhairav Ghati. And then we reach Gangotri. So here in Gangotri, there is nothing, no climbing or anything like that. The bus can go up to the last spot and you just walk, normal walking to the place. And there is Ganga temple there. But before that, again, if possible, we take bath in the Bhagirathi. So Bhagirathi, because Bhagirath Maharaj meditated here and brought Ganga down. So here Ganga is called as Bhagirathi. And Bhagirathi, which is the one which flows and joins at Devprayag, Alaknanda. So after these two rivers join, after that she is called as Ganga. So there is a Bhagirath Shila where King Bhagirath meditated. So we can visit that Shila, and then there is what is called as a Surya Kund. So that we can visit. But here Surya Kund is place where Lord Shiva is bathed by Mother Ganga. Okay, so very nice spot. How the Mother Ganga, as if Lord Shiva is receiving her on his head. So that scene is depicted there. You can see like Mother Ganga Bhagirathi coming down, and there's a small Shivlinga down there. And how Lord Shiva received Mother Ganga or Bhagirathi on his head, and how he controlled that force of Mother Ganga. Otherwise, he would have just made a hole through Mother Earth and flowed in the other planets. So other lower planets. So here, how Lord Shiva controls that is depicted there. So that we can see. Then there is, because also Pandavas traveled to all these different places. So there is a small cave around 2 kilometers away where the Pandavas stayed. So there is a Pandav cave there. So that also, if time permits, when we go there, we can see those things. And the important place is the Mother Ganga temple. So what happens is in this, because it is very cold during the winters, so the deities stay here up for 6 months, and then these are the summer places, and in the winters they go down to other places because it is too cold up here. So that is why the deities go down to certain other spots. At Yamunotri, the deity comes down from Yamunotri to a place called Tharsil. And then at Gangotri, that Mother Ganga, she travels from there to a place called as Mukba. So these are the the winter places for the deities, which is little warmer than the main shrines up there. So this is what after Gangotri we have darshan and everything like that. Then we come back to Uttarkashi, and next leg becomes very important because we are going to the place called as Kedarnath. So on the way to Kedarnath, it's a very long drive. It takes about 7-8 hours to reach a place called as 𝗔𝗯𝗃. So 𝗔𝗃 is named after Lord Shiva actually. So what happened was, when the Pandavas, all of them, they were coming after the battle of Kurukshetra, after they finished, and they wanted to do the Vanaprastha, and that's how they traveled to all these holy places. So they were coming to meet Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva, sensing that they are greater devotees than me, so why should they come to me? So Lord Shiva hides himself at this place. So that is why this place is called Kashi, means is connected with Lord Shiva. So 𝗔𝗃 means where Lord Shiva hid himself to avoid meeting the Pandavas. So that is why this is called as a 𝗔𝗃 place. So, and here also there's a small pond where there are two. One, there is an elephant head, and there is a cow head. So Mother Ganga is coming from that mother cow's mouth, okay, and also from the elephant's head is coming Yamuna. So these two water flows are there, and there's a small pond. So before this, I just wanted to explain at Gangotri, there's a 19-kilometer track which is going to Gomukh. Okay, so Gomukh is the place where actual Mother Ganga originates as far as the Earth planet is concerned. So that is where Gomukh is a place where Mother Ganga originates, and you can track to that place 19 kilometers. It takes about 2-3 days, Like the day you go up, you can't go up to that place. So you go to a place called a 𝗔𝗯𝗃, where you can stay in the tents or something like that. And from there, you go to Gomukh, have bath there, come back to 𝗔𝗯𝗃, and then you come back to Yamunotri. To Gangotri. So that is how it is. So that track also is possible. People do. In October, I have a small group of around 12 devotees who are going up there. Very beautiful trek, and always Mother Nature, to go out in Mother Nature is so beautiful up there. So that is the Gomukh trek. So at 𝗔𝗯𝗃𝗁, we try to stay there at 𝗔𝗯𝗃𝗁 because we have this facility of traveling by helicopter to Kedarnath. So it is easier to travel by helicopter. But then those who cannot, they don't want to do that, we can still go up in the same way as what we did in Yamunotri. So from there, we travel another 2 hours to a place called as Sitapur, and go down to Sitapur, and from there we go to a place called as Sonprayag. That is also there at Sonprayag. From there, we have to take a local jeep and go to a place called as Gaurikund. So Gaurikund is a place where, if we remember how Lord Ganesh appeared, so that is the place where Gauri was taking bath, and whatever mud or whatever she had on her body, when she removed and made the a kind of a deity of Lord Ganesh, but as a human form, and she gave life to that form, and that is how Ganesh ji came in. But then, when Lord Shiva came in, we know that then how Ganesh ji stopped Lord Shiva, and then how his head was cut off, and then how it was replaced by an elephant head. So all that pastimes took place near the Gauri Kund. It is said like that. So there is also one temple there. It is called as Sarkata Ganesh. Sarkata Ganesh means the beheaded form of Lord Ganesh. That means there's a human form of Lord Ganesh, but there is no head. So that also, there's a small temple for that also. So these things, only if we don't go by helicopter, then we can see these places. And from Gauri Kund is the place from where you can track up. So either, again, same thing. You can go by mules, or you can go by dolly, or you can trek up. So now the trek has increased. Now, before it was 14 kilometers. After the 2013 incident, the path has increased by around 4 kilometers. So now it takes about 3-4 kilometers. So it is around 17-18 kilometers. But it's a nicer path than before. So people try to climb up and enjoy the nature on the way, and go and trek to. But it takes a little more time to go up. So people generally, those who trek, need to stay at Kedarnath. So at Kedarnath, there are a lot of accommodations available, but it is very, very cold, and very difficult because not much power supply and everything. So no heaters or anything like that. So generally, people, what they try to do is try to go in the morning by helicopter, have darshan of Lord Shiva, and then come down. And as we were talking about at 𝗔𝗯𝗃𝗁, how he hid himself. So there is also that pastime of how Kedarnath came. So it is said that when the Pandavas, Lord Shiva hid himself from the Pandavas, and then Bhima spotted Lord Shiva. Okay, and the Lord Shiva, he turned himself into a bull and starting running upwards in the mountainous area. And Bhima followed him, and what happened now, that when Bhima was ready that he will now catch the bull, what Lord Shiva does is himself gets into the earth. Okay, so his 4 legs and his hump is there, and Bhima, he just catches hold of that hump, so that Lord Shiva cannot go down anymore. Okay, so it is said that hump which Bhima was holding, that became Kedarnath. He's also here called as Kedareshwar. And if you go and have a look at that, it is not like a regular Shivlinga, and you can see that it is there like a hump of a bull. So that is the Kedarnath temple, and the different uh, the feet of the bull that went into different directions. So they are totally, these are the 5 Kedars they call that. So different deities are named like Tunganath, and these are the different deities that are named as Pancha Kedar. They are called as Pancha Kedar. So difficult to do all these Kedar temples because it is very high up there in the mountains, very cold, and also there is a little bit. It is said like that the oxygen level also goes down a bit. So when people go there, they just have darshan and come back. Those who stay there, generally they carry a small oxygen cylinders also. On the way, sometimes it happens that you feel a little bit breathless due to lower oxygen. So the small bottles of oxygen are there, which you can breathe fresh oxygen from that bottle, and you can continue your trek up there. A bit difficult track as far as Kedarnath is concerned, but lot of people go there, have darshan of Lord Kedarnath ji or Kedareshwar. Also, there is now it is said that Shankaracharya, who after finishing all his work, then he came to Kedarnath and just walked off in the mountains up there, So, so there's a small kind of a samadhi kind of a thing. It is not actually this like a samadhi that we have of Vaishnavas, but it is the place from. This is the place from where Shankaracharya left. That is a small kind of a temple there, saying that this is where Shankaracharya left. And then, if you remember, in 2013 there was the cloud burst, and how the rain washed off all the other things in Kedarnath, but the temple, nothing happened to the temple. So that there's a folklore saying that actually when the Pandavas built this temple, Yudhishthir Maharaj, he was knowing that sometimes this can happen, So then he had put this big rock up there in the mountain. Okay, so that rock was still standing there for so many long years. But when it was like a pralay kind of a thing, where the cloud burst happened, this rock also rolled down and came and stopped just behind the Kedarnath temple. So because nobody else could do it, that big rock had to be lifted by Bhima. So now it is called as a Bhima rock. So that is what saved the Kedarnath temple from getting washed out due to the cloud burst that happened in 2013. So, it is something like now people worship that rock, saying that thank you for saving the temple. So, yeah, a nice place, beautiful place. Government of India has done a lot of things out there. Now they have built nicer camps. They have bunk beds and everything like that. They're trying to serve people, but then there's a very high flow of devotees of Lord Shiva coming there. So it become difficult, but somehow some kind of prasadam and everything is served there. Then there are bhandaras and everything like that. And yeah, but a beautiful place to go up there, Kedarnath ji, have darshan. After we have darshan, then we come back to 𝗔𝗯𝗃𝗃, where all the people, those who are trekked up, went by helicopter, they all are assembled together. And then we start moving towards Badrinath. So on the way to Badrinath, there are a lot of places. First, we go to a place called as Joshimath. So what happens is, this is the place where we meet. So this is the place from where we have the prayags that are there. But generally we don't meet Dev Prayag, but other prayags we can see. So when we come down from Kedarnath, we come to see Rudranath, Rudraprayag, or Rudranath temple is there. So Rudraprayag is a confluence of two rivers, Mandakini coming from Kedarnath, and Alaknanda coming from Badrinath. So there are steps to go down and bathe there. Very nice, beautiful place. And there is a Rudranath temple there. So we visit that Rudranath temple and pray. So basically at Prayag, when you take Snan, we pray for the devotional service of our Sri Radha, whatever deities we have, Radha Krishna basically. And from Rudraprayag, we start moving towards Badrinath. We come to the next Prayag, that is called as the Karna Prayag. So this is where Karna meditated, it is said. And at Karna Prayag, there is a river called as Pindar river, which is flowing, and the Alaknanda meet, and this is called as the Karna Prayag. So this is where it is said that Karna got his armor and the earrings and those kind of things. And it is also said, and there is a beautiful place where the Lord also performed the last rites of Karna here. So that is why this is called as Karna Prayag. And then we come to the next place called as the Nanda Prayag. So in Nanda Prayag, there is a river called as Nandakini. Like what is coming from Mandakini, Mandakini is coming from Kedarnath. Nandakini is coming from the river which is joining Alaknanda, and that is why this is called as Nanda Prayag. Okay. So after we complete Nanda Prayag, then we come to the place where we go to Joshimath. So Joshimath, actually its original name is Jyotirmath. Jyotirmath means the place where enlightenment took place. So this is the place where Shankaracharya came and meditated under a mulberry tree, which is still there. And, he meditated in that cave is still existing. So, because he got enlightened here, so this is called as Jyotirmath. But over a period of time, slowly, it came to be now, it is known as Joshimath. So this is the place where mainly the Shankaracharya's, ashram is there. And also Joshimath is the, I forgot to tell about, at Kedarnath also, the deities come down to 𝗷𝗃𝗃𝗁. Okay. And similarly, from Badrinath, the deities come from Badrinath to Joshimath, where they stay here for 6 months. Okay. So, at Joshimath, there is a beautiful temple of Lord 𝗷𝗃𝗃𝗁. So, in this Lord 𝗷𝗃𝗃𝗁, in the morning, it has, they do Abhishek around 6:30 in the morning. Very beautiful Abhishek they do, very short. But we can see the deity of Lord 𝗷𝗃𝗃𝗁. It is in a seated position, and it has its left hand touching the base, like that. But its left hand is very, very thin. It is almost like a needle now. It only the front, like what you can say, the wrists are there, but then that particular, from the elbow till the wrist, that particular part has thinned out so much that it is almost like a needle size now. So there is also some kind of pastime in that, and that is that when you go to Badrinath, there is Jai and Vijay mountains. So it is said that when this, due to any reason, when this left hand of Lord 𝗷𝗃𝗃𝗁 breaks, then the Jai Vijay mountains will collapse, and then the road going to Badrinath will close. So when that closes, okay, in future, there is what is called as Bhavishya Badri. So which is in Tapovan area of Joshimath, where there is already deity of Lord Badri Vishal there, and it is slowly, being revealed. Now for so many years, the face is being revealed. The crown is revealed now. Now the face is being revealed slowly. So when the full deity of Lord Badri Vishal is revealed at Bhavishya Badri, at that time these mountains will collapse. Also, same time the left hand of Lord Nrsimhadev will break, and then the old Badrinath which we see now, that will be cut off completely. So this is called as the Bhavishya Badri that we will visit. But at Lord Nrsimhadev, very beautiful temple, they have renovated recently, and they have made a, and it is also one of the Divya Deshams as per the Ramanujara Sampradaya, So it is called as, I think, 104th Divya Desham, something like that. So from there, Joshimath, after we finish darshan and everything like that, we go to Vishnu Prayag. Vishnu Prayag is where the Dhauli Ganga, coming from the Dhaulagiri mountains, and Alaknanda coming from Badrinath, they meet together, and that is called as the Vishnu Prayag. And from Vishnu Prayag, as we keep on proceeding further, then we come to a place called as Govind Ghat. So Govind Ghat is the place where the Sikhs, they go for the trek towards the their Hemkund Sahib. So that is the place where Guru Nanak meditated, and he was enlightened there. So that is called as Hemkund Sahib. Also, there is a place called as the Valley of Flowers, which generally, these are all wild flowers, but the whole valley becomes full of different colored flowers. And it's a very beautiful sight. Generally, it is very nice to go during September end and the full of October. So nice time to go to Valley of Flowers, where you can see all the different colors of flowers out there. Wild flowers, but very beautiful. So people generally go to Hemkund Sahib as well as to Valley of Flowers. And from Govind Ghat, we come to a place called as Pandukeshwar. So it is said that this is the place where the Pandavas were born. And Pandu was here, and the Pandavas were born here, and they established a temple called as Yoga Badri Temple. So Pandukeshwar becomes a very important place, one of the Panchabadri place also. So Alaknanda flowing there, and it's a beautiful. Also, there's a beautiful deity of Lord Vasudev there. So you have to climb a little bit downwards, maybe a kilometer or so, but it's a beautiful temple, very, very old temple. You can see the structure. This was also built by the Pandavas, it is said, like that. So, and from Pandukeshwar, after we do that, we come to the place called as Hanuman Chatti. So Hanuman Chatti is the place, if you remember the pastime between Hanumanji and Bhima. So when Bhima, the Pandavas were there in those mountainous area, so Draupadi wanted some Brahma Kamal flowers for worship. So she tells Bhima to bring some flowers, Brahma Kamal flowers. So Brahma Kamal flowers are available up there near the Nilkanta mountain. So Bhima wants to walk up there, and then he sees an old monkey sitting on the road and blocking his path by putting his tail. So then Bhima tells the monkey, why don't you take out your tail, And then the old monkey says that, I'm an old monkey, I can't lift my tail. Why don't you just put it aside, And Bhima says, Bhima says that, this what? Old monkey's tail, how much weight it will be. So he tries to lift it with his one left hand, and tries to put it aside. And he cannot move it. Then he puts both the hands, and then he uses all his force to lift the monkey's tail, but he cannot lift it. And then Bhima says that you are not an ordinary person. And then the old monkey reveals himself that he is Hanuman, his elder brother, son of Vayu. And he blesses him that whatever he does, Bhima does, he will be successful. And like that, then he goes up. And so that place is called as the Hanuman Chatti. There's a small Hanuman temple there now. So we can visit that small Hanuman temple. And then we proceed to Badrinath. When we reach Badrinath, then we will check into the hotels. And first thing we do is that again, we have baths there. So we Sorry, 1 minute. So there what we do is we have bath in Alaknanda first. Then there is a Narad Kund there, which is a little bit, Alaknanda is very, very cold. Then Narad Kund is a little bit warm water. And then there is Tapta Kund, which is really hot water. So we have bath in all these three places. And then we can go to have darshan of Lord 𝗷𝗲𝗄𝗃. So with that reverence, when you go inside, so then Lord 𝗷𝗲𝗄𝗃, his deity form is of Shaligram Shila actually. But it was put into the water when the Buddhists attacked there. And it remained in water in Narad Kund. So when Shankaracharya came here, he found out the deities of that, deity of Lord 𝗷𝗲𝗄𝗃. But it had worn out, like only some features of the Lord are seen. But still Shankaracharya said that this is the deity that has to be worshipped. So there is a main deity of Lord 𝗷𝗲𝗄𝗃 that is worshipped there. Then you have Naranarayan Rishi being worshipped on the altar. We have Garudji being worshipped on the altar. We have Naradji worshipped on this altar, and Kuberji worshipped on this altar. Kuber is the presiding deity of Alkapuri, from where Alaknanda is flowing into Badrinath. If you walk further from Badrinath, the place called as Alkapuri, place where Kubera rules that place. So that is why Kubera is also here. So this is a very beautiful place, very beautiful temple. This is also, it is said that the Pandavas has constructed before, renovated several times, but it is really beautiful temple out there. And inside, every day in the morning between 4:30 to 7:30, and Abhishek takes place. Very beautiful Abhishek. You can sit down and see the Abhishek, and also the dressing of the deity. So people generally they go there. We try to be there. I have been taking groups there. I try to be there one day before the Ekadashi, so that on the Ekadashi we can have a Abhishek performed, and very nice to have the darshan of Lord 𝗷𝗲𝗄𝗃 being bathed, in the honey and ghee, curd and milk, all these different ingredients. So on Ekadashi we try to be there. And when you come out from the temple, we have Mahalakshmi there. You can worship her. There's a Kamadhenu cow which is there, built into the temple. And then we have Ghantakarn deity, who is the, something like a Dham Rakshak. And very near to this big temple is the Lord 𝗏𝗏𝗏 temple also. So we can visit all the temples there. And then when you come down, then there is what is called as Panchashilas. Panchashilas are big rocks which are there. One is called as Garud Shila, Narsingha Shila, Varaha Shila, Narad Shila, and Markandeya Shila. So these are the 5 Shilas which are there. It is said that like Lord Varaha came and sat on this particular rock. Narsingdev, after killing Hiranyakashipu, came and sat on this rock. Garudji came and meditated here. Naradji came and meditated here. So these are some of the rocks that, which are there still, where we can see that, these great devotees of the Lord came and meditated here. So after doing this, there is also a place called as Charan Paduka. Charan Paduka is a place where there are lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. So there is 1 feet of Lord, beautiful big lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. But we have to climb around 2 kilometers up there, but we can see that beautiful place. And just behind that, there is Neelkant, which, is always snow capped, means like always there is snow on that mountain. And very beautiful darshan of that Neelkant mountain early in the morning during sunrise. You can see those Neelkant mountain in different colors up there, So that is very beautiful sight early in the morning. And then we go to a place called as Mana village. It is just 3 kilometers from Badrinath. And from there, we go to Ganesh Gufa, Ganesh cave, where Lord Ganesh wrote the Mahabharata. It's a small cave with a Ganesh deity in there. So this is the place where Lord Ganesh was sitting and writing the Mahabharata. And when you climb up a little bit up there, then you come to the place called as Vyas Gufa or Vyasa's cave. And this is where Lord Vyasadeva sat and wrote most of all the Puranas. And he dictated, as far as the Mahabharata is concerned, he dictated it to Lord Ganesha. And if you look at the cave also, it looks like, the pages of the Vedas. Very nice cave, very beautiful. There's a deity of Vyasadeva in there, and a pujari is there to worship that deity. And so many other deities are also there, but mainly it is the Vyasadeva deity which is there. And just above the Vyasadeva Gufa, a little bit, another 2-3 kilometers away, is Muchkunda Gufa. This is the place where Lord, after killing Kalyavan, Lord Krishna sent Muchkunda to come and meditate here in Badrika Ashram. So that is the place where Muchkunda meditated, and there also we can see Lord's lotus feet there. So a bit difficult climb up there, but some younger devotees generally go and have darshan and come down. And from there, from Vyas Gufa, we come down to a place called as Bhimpul. So Bhimpul is a big rock lifted by Bhima to put it across the Mother Saraswati river. Because Saraswati is goddess of learning. So when the Pandavas were walking up there for their Swarga Rohini, so they did not want to put their feet in Mother Saraswati. So that is why then Bhima picks up a big rock and puts it across the river, and that becomes called as the Bhimpul. So that is one of the sites. And also you can see Mother Saraswati coming down, and it's making huge noise out there. So, and she was disturbing actually Vyasdev when he was writing these books, So at that time, Vyasdev curses her to go underground. So it is said that Mother Saraswati can be seen only in this portion, and then she goes underground, and then from there she goes directly to Prayagraj and meets Ganga and Yamuna there. So it is said like that. And from Bhimpul, when you go further, there is a place called as Vasudhara Falls. So Vasudhara Falls is a place where the Vasus, the 8 Vasus meditate, and there is a small fall. So that, because of the wind, the water sprinkles around, and it is said that you have few drops of them on your head, and you get liberated. So then there are further lot of other places up there, up to Satopant Lake, and then the Swarga Rohini, where Yudhishthir Maharaj went to the heaven. So all those places are there in that. So this is how, Badrinath, we complete our darshan. One more important place in Badrinath is the Ekadashi cave, where actually Utpanna Ekadashi or Mother Ekadashi appeared in this place. So nice story behind that, but it is, I think, already we have spent more than an hour. We can go on, but that is why when we go on the Ekadashi, we visit this place on Ekadashi day. So it becomes very auspicious for us also. So like this, how we complete our Chardham Yatra, and after that we come down to Rishikesh, and we spend some time in Rishikesh, going to the different Ram Jhula, Lakshman Jhula, and then the Janki Jhula. Then there are a lot of ashrams around there. But the most important place in Rishikesh is the Rishik Narayan temple, which Lord Narayan appeared for the sage, Raibya Rishi, who was meditating there. And that is how this place is called as Rishikesh. And Prahlad Maharaj, while going up, he had darshan of, Rishik Narayan. Dhruva Maharaj had darshan of Rishi Narayan. So there are a lot of those stories out there. Then there is Lakshman temple at Lakshman Jula, Shatrughan temple at Ram Jula, Bharat temple at Rishi Narayan, So like that, all those great devotees had been here. Even Lord Ram came and meditated at the place called as Dev Prayag. And there was Ram temple there, nice beautiful temple. So these are all the holy places. We have so many things up there. This is in a very short I have told you. So this is how we cover the Chardham and get the blessings of at Rishikesh. Also there is a small place of called as Ganga Darshan, where Srila Prabhupada stayed for a week when he was very sick, and it is something like, except Vrindavan, Rishikesh is the last dham that Prabhupada visited before he left his body in Vrindavan. So it is very important. So presently I am in actually Rishikesh. We are trying in Rishikesh to build something. I know we already have a temple. We are trying to get it back, and ISKCON Rishikesh is here, trying to having a lot of congregation members out here now, and trying to do a bit whatever is possible from our side. So thank you very much for coming on this Chardham Yatra on the Zoom. And whenever it is possible, you get an opportunity to be in India and to go to Chardham. Well, at least once in a lifetime, we have to do this Yatra. So it would be very nice. In the olden days, it is said that after people got old, or Vanaprastha life, or in the sannyas life, people walked up to all these Chardhams. Maybe, but now because of all these road facilities, we can, in our lifetime, we can do all these dhams by going in the buses or cars, and within 10-12 days, we finish those yatras and go back home. So that's a very beautiful place. Thank you very much. Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. If you can take a couple of questions if there are, but before that, do you have some few minutes, Prabhuji?
Yes, sure, Prabhuji, sure.
Okay. Before that, I'll just make some quick announcements for upcoming programs. So on our website, if you've never been, ISKCONofbergen.org. This is every Wednesday program. You can join at 8:30. Different speakers, different topics. This coming Sunday, the Sunday class will be given by His Grace Gopal Govind Prabhu, Bhagavad Gita verse. And every Friday, we also have Bhakti Vriksha program, which is a smaller program, which happens in different cities. You can click here and then get more information. And on our website, you will see there's also 15-minute Bhagavad Gita readings in the afternoon on the same Zoom, and daily morning 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. chanting session. Also, we have all our recent videos of, where did it go? Of the recent lectures that we've had. So you can check that out. Even our recent Janmashtami program has been uploaded. Janmashtami and Prabhupada Appearance Day videos are in here. So you can visit them. We will also, there's also Bhadra Purnima coming, so we are trying to promote Srimad Bhagavatam sets. If anybody doesn't have or would like to give somebody on this auspicious day the Bhagavatam set, you can let any one of us know at the center on Sunday. So at this point, if you have any question, please feel free to raise your hand and ask or type it. And let's see a show of hands. Has anybody been to the Chardham, one of the 4 dhams? You can raise your hand or on the screen. Okay, I see Mataji raising her hand. Anybody who's been to one of the 4 or all 4 dhams? I know not many people. Okay.
Yes, I went 2 times, all 4 dham.
Right. Wonderful. So let's see if there's any question. Prabhuji, there's one question which says, why isn't Vrindavan or Mathura mentioned in one of the 4 dhams?
No, because here we call them as Himalayan Chardham. So there are, different places in different Purana, different dhams are mentioned. So Mathura is considered like Haridwar, Mathura, there are Saptadhams like that, Varanasi, something like that. So there are Saptadhams are separate, but these Chardhams, like as I told you, Bada Chardhams are like Badrinath, Rameshwaram, Jagannath Puri and Dwarka. These are the places which were established by Shankaracharya, saying that he has spread his philosophy all through the 4 different corners of India. So whereas these 4 chardhams that we talk today are the Himalayan Chardhams. So like that, all the different, like we have 12 Jyotirlingas in different areas. So that is also Dham, as far as Lord Shiva is concerned. So different places, different things are said, and people do visit. But these Chardhams are very important. If you look at it, it is Yamunotri, Gangotri, then Kedarnath and Badrinath. It is like you have a darshan of Yamuna ji, then Ganga ji, then Lord Shiva, and finally it is Lord Vishnu. So how it is, progressing, and finally you are coming to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said like that.
Thank you. Anybody else has any question? Everybody's content. If we felt like going from every place, every temple. There's one question that's come up. The question is, I'll read it to you. When are you going to be doing the next Himalayan Yatra?
So, as I was saying before, when we started, we are planning in May, June. Okay, I have already 2-3 groups lined up. So, like generally people, as I said, minimum group of 20-25, and I don't take more than 45 people because then it becomes too much, to cater for. So normally we are around 44 people because then everybody gets a pushback seat in the buses and everything like that, so that the journey is comfortable, because these are all winding journeys, So just to make it comfortable, we travel only certain distances, 5 to 6 hours in a day, wherever possible, and try to make the journey very simple and stay an extra day here or there, so that our Chardham is minimum like for 13 nights, 14 days. A little bit of more extra payment for that, but then when people come there, they are relaxed, and they have got a lot of information also. So here I have not even related any of the kathas as such, it is just purely I have taken you around as if you are traveling there, and very few things I have told you yet. There are a lot of things more to this from Srimad Bhagavatam, and from the different Puranas, from Skanda Purana and everything like that. So there are so many different stories which are there. So all that during the actual visit, we talk about it, because when you talk about all the different kathas in the place where it has happened, it becomes very lively to understand those things out there. So yes, maybe in May, June, you can contact me through Ramchandra Prabhu, and if there is an itinerary which comes up, I can send it to Ramchandra Prabhu, and then he can coordinate all the other things.
Sure. One more question, that all the dhams are present in Mathura Braj Mandal. So what is the difference between the Himalayan dham, for example, and the dhams that are in Mathura Braj Mandal?
Yeah, so there is actually no difference, because if you remember, there's a pastime where Nanda Maharaj wanted to visit all these different dhams, and Lord Krishna said that, why you want to travel all that way up there, I'll bring all those dhams here. So that is why you have Adi Kedarnath, Adi Badrinath, and everything like that in the Mathura Mandal itself. So he did not want his father to go out anywhere other, because it is something like that, that as we know that, all the different avatars are there in Krishna himself. Similarly, in the place where he is born, in Vrindavan, all the different dhams are included in that. Okay, but we are not at that consciousness, to understand that Vrindavan. So people, still want to go to these 4 dhams, have their some of the wishes to go to these dhams. Even Pandavas walked to those dhams. Okay, so and even different, like we said, Uddhava, Krishna told them to go to up there in Badrikashram. Okay, and similarly, Muchkunda, Krishna only sent him to go to Badrikashram. The Pandavas came here. So that is how this place has become prominent. But if somebody has the consciousness of being in Vrindavan, and in Vrindavan we have all the dhams, like Prayagraj and all those things. All those dhams are there in Vrindavan. So if one stays in Vrindavan, then all the dhams are included there in Vrindavan.
Guruji, another question, that what should be the mood of a yatri or a devotee traveling to dhams? May it be New Vrindavan Dham in West Virginia, or may it be Badrinath, Kedarnath, or Rajmandal? What should be the mood when we are visiting these places?
Yes, so basically the mood has to be that, one is that we should have a mood of surrender. Okay, and other thing is, going to these dhams is important, but if we have to also seek, the sadhus there who are there, and we have to have Krishna Katha also in these places. So this is the mood, because there are a lot of people going to different dhams, but some of them, they treat it only as an ordinary place. And as I told in the beginning also, they don't have much faith on that. But just because somebody has told them to go to these places, they just go there and visit and come back. But they don't have any idea about what that place means or what is the importance of that place. So important is that when we go to these places, we surrender ourselves to all the different pastimes that we hear from there. Okay, have darshan of the deities nicely, ask for blessings so that we can practice our Krishna consciousness very nicely. Okay, and grant us the boon of having devotional service to Shri Radha Krishna. So that is the mood. And if there are any sages, rishis, or devotees of Lord Krishna, we associate with them and hear the kathas from them too. So this is the mood that one has to have when we go to all these different dhams anywhere in the world.
Another question is, if somebody leaves their body in a dham, are they guaranteed to go back to the spiritual world?
Generally, it is said yes, if the people leave the body in the dham, it is very auspicious, but it also depends on what consciousness they had while leaving the body. So as we know that unless we have a proper consciousness while leaving the body, there is no entry into the spiritual world. So it depends on what that person was thinking at that time while he was leaving the body. So even though there is an advantage that there is a chance that because he has left his body in a holy dham, he will go back, back to the spiritual world. But then also it will depend on what consciousness, because depending on what he was thinking at the moment of death. So that is as written in Bhagavad Gita. So that is whatever he achieves that in his next life. So important is even though he leaves his body in the dham, but it also depends on the consciousness in which he lives.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Swami.
Okay. Yeah, I think I lost connection for a minute. There's another question. Is it true that I'm not sure how this one to be read, but is it true that the Hangaras River is called Mekong in Vietnam? Mekong Delta is supposed to be very fertile. I'm not sure if that's related to this.
Yeah, I would not be able to answer that.
I wasn't, yeah. What is an average, what is a cost per person for this yatra?
Generally, all that depends on, the quality of bus, the quality of staying. So there are people who can do these yatras in 25,000-30,000 rupees, and there are people who can do the same yatras in 55,000-60,000 rupees also, depending on the comfort level. At certain places, at a lower cost, you may not get hot water at certain places. But when you pay a little bit higher and stay in a better hotel, you get hot water, you get heater in your room. You pay more and you get electric blanket to sleep because it is very cold. So depending on those kind of things, the charges are different. And people do it by helicopter also. If people can spend 2 lakhs rupees per person, they can do it in 2 days, Chardham and come back. So all it depends on basically, the more you pay, the more the facility. It is something like that. So depends on the average. Average generally people pay around 35 to 40,000 rupees. That is like not very low or not very high end, but where certain minimum facilities are guaranteed. Maybe except some kind of a heater, because in Kedarnath you don't get any heaters up there. So that is you just go there. You can get a bed. You will have 3-4 different blankets for that. That is at Kedarnath. At Badrinath, there is a possibility that you can get a heater in your room also. So depends on what kind of the package depends on that. So sometimes generally it is called as the standard package, the deluxe package, the super deluxe package, and the luxury package. So luxury package is the high end thing, maybe around 50,000, 60,000 rupees, and standard is around 30,000-35,000 rupees, like that.
Thank you. Guruji, one more question that I have a desire to go to dhams, but time is a constraint, and also I have a fear of falling sick and the travel discomforts in these dhams due to lack of amenities and things like that. What to do?
So in this case, what you have to do is you have to pray to Lord Krishna, saying that please allow me to visit the dhams and see that I don't face any obstacles in visiting the dhams, and I understand the dhams nicely, and I have that feeling in my heart, that I should be able to visit the dhams and get whatever benefits I can get by visiting the dhams. So just pray to Krishna like that, and definitely Krishna will help us to visit all the different dhams whichever we want. So yeah, so important is praying very intensely to Lord Krishna. Also praying to the dham. Sometimes there are offenses that we commit in the dhams, and then we are not able to go to the dham sometimes. So also if we have committed some offenses, maybe also in previous lives, we may not be able to go to any dhams. So I mean, people are so rich and everything like that, but they have never gone to Ganga. In Mumbai and everywhere we find in South Mumbai, they are rich, they are living very luxurious life and everything like that, but they have never been to Ganga. So it is so unfortunate for for them. So like that. But if you pray nicely and have that desire, Krishna is there in our heart, and he will fulfill our desires for sure.
Another question is that if I'm unable to visit a dham, but I help somebody else visit the dham, sponsor their visit, or I send some donation with them, is that also beneficial?
I mean, definitely it is like one of the ways out of if you are not able to, due to any physical condition, maybe due to some kind of financial condition, whatever, yes, it is possible. Then generally those who go on yatra like this, a lot of people give them some Lakshmi, saying that you pray for me at this particular place, so that I also can visit in the future, and those kind of things. Yes, definitely you will get that benefit of visiting that dham. So but your prayer should be that I should also be able to go to that dham. Okay, you are sending that, it is nice, good, but nicer way of helping others also to go to the dhams. But whenever you get an opportunity, I mean, it is sometimes it happens that due to physical condition we will not be able to go. then at least hearing about the dham becomes very important. But otherwise, if physically, if it is possible to go, one should try to go to the dham, because that is where the main energy is. Just by visiting even a temple, you feel so much energized. Just by visiting a temple, forget about all other things. So you can understand what would be the energy that you would get when you visit where all these different pastimes of Lord Krishna has taken place, where the Pandavas have been visiting all the different places. So you can imagine the energy which is there. So that is why important is to visit the dhams whenever possible, because then our faith also increases. Whatever we are doing, our faith increases. And when our faith increases, our devotional activities will increase, and we become more and more attached to Krishna, and automatically get detached from all these material things. So that is what our goal is finally. So even getting attached to the dham is getting attached to Lord Krishna himself, like that. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
There's one more question in the chat that you mentioned that the places Shankaracharya visited, those are the 4 dhams, the bigger ones. Similarly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also visited several places. Why are they not considered, some of them, as dhams?
As far as the Vaishnavas are concerned, wherever the pastimes of Lord Krishna, Vishnu, or any of the avatars of Lord Vishnu or Vishnu devotees have performed their pastime, we consider that as a dham. So for us, all are dhams. Okay. For Srirangam is also a dham, Rameshwaram also is a dham, Madurai also is a dham for us. Because there are everywhere, wherever you find where the Vaishnava visited, Kurma Kshetra is there, Lord Narsinghdev's Ahobilam is there. So all these are dhams as far as we are concerned, But everybody has their own way of looking at things. So when it comes to the Himalayan mountain, okay, so these are considered as the 4 important dhams. If you consider, for the Mayavadis, Shankaracharya established these 4 dhams for them, so that they can travel to all these 4 dhams. Shankaracharya, what he did was he put the South Indians up there in the north, brought the North Indians down here. So all those things, So dhams are like wherever, even if a place where devotee of Vishnu, did something small pastime, that is considered as a dham. So, we have so many, like Jagannath Puri, it is a dham for us, But Shankaracharya, what he did was he spread his philosophy in all the 4 corners of India. So that is why he said that I have spread. He has said that these are the 4 dhams in different places where I have established the Mayavad philosophy. That is what he has said. He has brought people together of all the all the different Hindu sampradayas. He brought together and he made the Kumbh Mela thing also, where several thousands of people come for that now. So that was like uniting all the different Sanatanis together. Even they have different philosophies, but they all unite together in this Kumbh Mela, which is held every 12 years, like that. So at different places. So that is how the dham is. So it is not that we are underestimating, or it is not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, nothing like that. It is, we are having more because we are attached to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement directly. For us, like Jagannath Puri becomes the most important dham actually. Okay. And generally, everybody tells here there are a lot of austerities to be done in Chardham. So why not better visit Vrindavan, Mayapur and Jagannath Puri? And these are the different pastime places where Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have done all these pastimes. So people would like to visit these places only, So it depends on what kind of attachment we develop for the dham. So depending according to that, we will visit all those dhams. If we get attached to certain things, that okay, I wish to visit these 4 dhams at least once in a lifetime to understand, So like visiting Badrinath, you get so many. That is completely Vaishnava thing, where we have footprints of Lord Vishnu. We use the appearance of Ekadashi, then Vyas Gufa, where Vyasdev wrote these Puranas, all the different Puranas. Ganesh Gufa, where Ganesha wrote the Mahabharata. Bhimpul, where Bhima, devotees of Krishna, they, out of respect for Mother Saraswati, how he picked up a big rock and put it across Mother Saraswati so that they don't put their feet in the water of Mother Saraswati, who is the goddess of learning. So all these are the pastimes where you are able to remember the Lord. So what happens in Dham is that when you go to the Dham, you are able to remember all these pastimes and remember the Lord. And when you do this continuously, when we are leaving our body, it is said that when you just pull the Rath Yatra card, and if you remember, you go back to Godhead. What else you want? So just by remembering this pastimes of Lord Krishna or his devotees, we are guaranteed a place in the spiritual world, like that. So that is why it becomes all these are important dhams as far as Vaishnavas are concerned. But there are sometimes some people give importance to certain things, some people give importance to the other dhams. That's all. But depending on whatever your attachment, you can develop that attachment to that dham, and do Krishna Katha or read Krishna Katha and remember the Lord, like that.
Thank you very much. Any one last question, if anybody has, before we end today's session? Okay. So let's express our gratitude to Prabhuji by unmuting and thanking him with Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Thank you very much once again for taking us through all these important places, and we hope and pray that someday in the future some of us will be able to join you in these 4 dhams, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. It was nice. It was pleasure speaking to all. And forgive me for any mistakes or we have spoken or something like that. If somebody has no offenses, please. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.